Hey guys, thanks for watching the Team House. I hope you enjoy watching the show as much as Dave and I enjoy doing these interviews every week. I want to thank everyone who supports the show, especially our patrons. Those of you who have been with us for a long time remember our old set where it was like a white cloth in the background and the audio and video and the internet connection was always terrible. But you guys stuck with us, and really it is because of you that we're here in this new set and that we've really been able to up our production. So I wanted to let all of you know who are not patrons that the best way to support the stream, to support the Team House, is to join our Patreon. There's a link right down below, and those of you who sign up and support the stream will get access to ad-free episodes, both the video and the audio, and occasional bonus content as well. So we'd really appreciate it if you guys consider supporting the Team House.
The Team House with your hosts, Jack Murphy and David Park.
Excited to get to work. In terms of, one of the funny things about the Marine Corps is, you know, the Marine Corps at large, at least the command at large, there are no elite Marines. All Marines are, all Marine are elites. We don't need elite forces. Yeah. And that's really stood in the way of like Recon and Force Recon because they're both really top-notch organizations. How did that culture work between you and the big Marine Corps?
It's a pretty contentious relationship. I'm sure that it still is. You know, speaking with the guys that are still in, you know, that was the original kind of summation of why the Marine Corps didn't join US SOCOM when it stood up in the 80s. You know, you can't have an elite force within an elite force, to your point, David. And so, really highly contested, honestly. I mean, you would just be walking through, if you did have to go on or be on the main side of Pendleton, I mean, your uniform looked a little different, probably some of the devices, you know, you're wearing your dive bubble or jump wings or just things like that would honestly become almost a target. You know, and I'll say, man, I'm trying to think of a funny story. Yeah. I mean, dude, I don't know if this ever happened to you guys. We'll go back to Camp Fallujah. I'm a young E3, maybe E4 at the time. Hey, we're going to go out for 3 days and do counter IED on Route Mobile. So you're living in a hole for 3 days. And then, hey, we're going to extend you for 48 hours. Oh, okay, cool. So, you know, at that point, you probably ran out of food.
Right.
Very little left. And then we would get back to like those giant DFAC chow halls on the mech. And you're filthy, can't be paying all your stuff. And some first sergeant or gunny would just turn you away. And you're like, dude, I haven't eaten in like 3 days.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
19 years old. I just want some food, dude. I'll get it to go plate. I'll get out of your hair. I won't make a mess. And then you would get that conventional just, you know, hey, Marine, why do you look that way? Hey, Marine. And you're like, do you know what happens out, you know, 10 miles that way? And it was always kind of that like very weird. There's a weird relationship. I mean, I'll kind of fast forward towards the latter part of my career, and I'll give you a funny story on that. So I check into my E6 PME, my professional military education, to get promoted E6 to E7. Day one, Sergeant Major comes in, and everyone's in their alphas. So that's the green suit and all of your ribbons and your, you know, dive bubble or device and your shooting badges. So it's a lot of stuff. But very quickly, you can see everyone's entire service record right there on their chest. And so the Sergeant Major comes in, a couple of ribbons, nothing too crazy, and immediately starts to berate. I think there were 17 Raiders, a handful of infantrymen, and a bunch of recon guys. And the first thing out of this guy's mouth, you know, all of you Marines that have been doing nothing but back-to-back deployments, you guys are what is wrong with the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps is about drill and ceremony. And we're kind of like looking at each other like, no, I think it's about fighting and, you know, doing that kind of stuff.
That is such a weird culture. It's
That
like history
is
just
shocking.
passed this guy by.
Bizarre.
Right?
Bizarre.
Like,
This is 2015. It's not like what have been doing for 15 years, dude. So I think, you know, sorry to jump ahead, but I think that's a good way to kind of capture some of that mindset. And that's not everybody. And some people, you know, my mission while I was there were to take those E6s and say, hey, if you've got a stand-up stud young Marine, push them towards MARSOC. This is what we do. This is how we do it. You know, just because you have a beard, you're not combat, you know, ineffective.
Right.
Stuff like that. So,
I mean, that guy sounds like he wanted like the Marine Corps award. Like medals or like badges for DNC, you know? A little drill and ceremony. Let me see your about face there, Marine.
Oh, not so good.
So with
It's crazy.
so with Force Recon, you were on your way to Afghanistan at that point, right?
No, our workup was actually to go back into Iraq and just do direct action, or potentially be attached to, at the time would have been the 13th MU out of California. And so that was the focus. Nothing but breaching and CQB and just getting really strong.